Okay, I'm going to do this kind of like I did the other day. I'll shoot some with this little camera, do most of my reading with it, and then walk around with the other camera. Anyway, we're at tour stop number 1. This is Breckinridge's assault. Confederates commanded by former U.S. Vice President John C. Breckinridge, and I believe that's the same guy that Breckinridge, Colorado is named after, assaulted and briefly penetrated the Union line in this area before turning their attack southward. And that's east, so south is this way. And there's the usual number of monuments around here. But we're going to get out and walk around here a little bit, see what's what. Okay, just left stop number 1, getting ready to head for stop number 2, Chickamauga Battlefield. It's nice and cold this morning, mid-40s with the wind, feels like 30s. Dug out my winter gear. There's a whole row of monuments over here. Not sure where they're from. Let's see. I'm not sure. They're just monuments all over these battlefields. Elm Monument, Cold Monument, Battle Line. Alright, here's tour stop 2. All kinds of monuments here. I'm gonna get a thing on the phone here. I think I'll just use it. Let's see. Phones. Call.
Welcome back to the tour. Enter your stop number now, or press *0 to leave us your feedback.
You are now at tour stop 2. Make your way from the parking area to the paved wayside exhibit. Face the panel labeled Hardship on the Union Line. The Federal battle line is to your front and left, and the Confederates will be attacking from your rear. The scene before you looks remarkably like it did in September of 1863. Farmers living in the area allowed livestock to forage, which had cleaned out the understory. You could see 200 yards to the tree line, which severely limited commanders' control over their units. Thick woodlots, like the one directly in front of you, were fenced. Soldiers of both sides will have trouble moving through these forests. The Confederates will be attacking uphill. The Federals built rudimentary breastworks using logs, brush, rocks, and boxes that would be to waist high, such as the ones seen in the monuments of the 15th and 16th U.S. Infantry to your front. These works extended a mile southwest from here to the Poe Farm. Intense fighting on September 19, 1863 had pushed the Federal battle line to this position by early morning on September 20th. The Confederate battle plan was to turn the Federal left at this point and drive them southwest into the mountains, keeping them away from Chattanooga. Given the task in this sector was General Benjamin Hardin Helm's brigade of General John C. Breckinridge's division. Defending the Federal line was John H. King's brigade of U.S. Army regulars. Due to a miscommunication of orders, the Confederate attack, scheduled to begin at dawn, was delayed for nearly 4 hours. The Confederates lost the element of surprise, and this delay allowed the Federals to strengthen their breastworks. The attack by Helm's brigade began about 9:30 a.m. The Federal line exploded with rifle fire as Helm's men were pushed back by this determined resistance. The Confederates attacked again, and then incredibly a third time, never succeeding in breaking the Federal line. One of the attacking Confederates later wrote, Helm's brigade was about to commence the greatest engagement of the war. The command now moves forward, and as soon as we felt the fire of the enemy, we charged. The second day's battle began in earnest. The second and ninth and a small portion of the 41st Alabama struck their fortification and suffered terrible slaughter. General Helm was mortally wounded. Very many of our brave officers and men were shot down during repeated attempts to storm the works. General Helm's death was felt all the way to Washington, D.C., where his brother-in-law, President Abraham Lincoln, greatly mourned him. Even though they were on opposite sides, the two remained close, and the President took his death extremely hard. Looking through the woods from your front and left, you see the north end of the Kelly Field. There, attacks by Breckinridge's two other brigades, commanded by Generals Daniel Adams and Marcellus Stovall, were initially successful and for a time threatened the Union rear. Bragg's initial plan seemed to be working until Ferdinand Vanderveer's Union soldiers emerged from the woods across the Lafayette Road and drove Breckinridge's Confederates back with heavy losses, including General Adams, who was wounded and captured. Firing then quieted along this line, only to resume again around 12:30 when another abortive attempt was made to break the Union line. At late evening, the Confederates broke through the Federal barricade around the Alabama Monument, about 1/3 of a mile to your left down Battle Line Road. The United States regulars were flanked and suffered hundreds of casualties as they retreated from the field. The Southerners planted their victorious banners along with now abandoned Federal breastworks. Continue down Battle Line Road to the left of the parking area. You'll be seeing some of the oldest monuments in the park. Placed here around 1893, they solemnly reflect the valor and courage which they symbolize. Many of the monuments feature an acorn. The 14th Army Corps will adopt the acorn as their symbol because along this battle line they stood like an oak tree in the fiercest storm. As you make your way along Battle Line Road, you will encounter the Texas Monument. Here, General Patrick Cleveland made a futile attempt to dislodge the Federals while trying to support General Helm. Continue on to Tour Stop 3, where a catastrophe of the greatest magnitude awaits one of the armies.
Enter your stop number now, or call us back when you're ready.
Okay, I'm going to go out and take some pictures.